back to my channel. So for today's video, I am going to review a foundation which was highly talked about on the internet, and this is the world's most full coverage foundation, and this is by the brand Dermacol, and it's called the Makeup Cover. Now I purchased mine from eBay from a seller which is based somewhere in Europe. I will actually link the seller's name down below and also the exact link to this foundation. So it took about 3 weeks to arrive, and I paid $21 or $22 New Zealand. And yeah, there's actually quite a few Dermacol foundations that are said to be fake if you buy it from eBay, but you just have to go to the seller that has sold the most of this and with great reviews. So that's basically where I based my purchase from. So the packaging is very legit, if I may say so. So the writing is embossed in this gold font, and the packaging has got like patterns, if you could see, and then everything is in other language, but it says here that it's made in Europe, so I guess this is legit. So from opening up the box, you get an instruction, and this is in another language, so I'm definitely not going to be using this because I can't read it. But here is the foundation. So it has 30 grams of product in there, and the packaging is actually very sleek and shiny, but at the same time it kind of reminds me of those insect bug repellent creams. So it has that thingy over there, and then you actually use the lid to open the foundation. And I got the shade 223. Yeah, I got the shade 223. So we'll see if it's going to match me. So you really have to squeeze in the foundation to come out. Oh my gosh. So that's what it looks like. And it is so thick, like really thick. So that's like that much that I've taken out from the packaging, and it's so thick and you have to really squeeze in the tube. But anyway, this foundation is said to be waterproof, hypoallergenic, and it's great for all skin types. It has SPF 30 and the coverage is full to extreme. So it says that you could use this for concealing the dark circles underneath your eyes, cover blemishes, acne, scars, tattoos, bruises, or pigmentation. And because of its 50% pigments, it is said that you only need a teeny tiny bit, and you could go a long way. So it's really thick. And then I think the shade is quite pink. So that's it right there. It smells like lotion. So that's that there. So I don't know how this is going to work on my skin. And it says it can cover tattoo. So I might actually try. So it did kind of cover my tattoo, but not fully. You could still see, but I guess if you dab it. So the consistency is very thick, and you need to really work quite fast because I find that once it sets, it will dry and it'll be harder to blend. I'm going to prime my face with the e.l.f. primer. This is just a smoothing primer because I want my face to be flawless. Right now, my skin would be the perfect candidate to try this foundation because I have a lot of acne happening in my face at the moment. So I guess we're just gonna have to go in. So I feel like I'm going to try and use a brush just so I could spread the product real quick, because if I use the sponge it will end up just soaking the product without even spreading it into my face. So we'll start off with that's probably already too much, with that much, and then I'm gonna go use my Eco Tools brush. Holy moly! It covered all the redness that I had in my face. It's a natural finish to it, but it definitely covered all the dark spots that I have, and especially this guy right here. Definitely even out my skin tone, and compare this face to this. It's actually quite flawless, and I didn't even use that much. It wasn't even a pea size, to be honest. I could definitely feel it in my skin. It feels very kind of greasy. So I think I am going to go with another layer, probably that much more. And then I'll just use it on areas where I feel like it's still picking through. So the foundation has been applied, and that's what it's looking like. So obviously this is a little bit darker than my skin tone, but I'm going to blend that. It feels kind of sticky onto the face, and you can definitely feel that it's there. And the finish is kind of a natural finish. It's definitely not matte, but I feel like once you set it, it will look matte. Now, it says that I could use it as a concealer, but basing it on the consistency, I don't want to risk it because I have somewhat dry under eye. So if I put real heavy concealer underneath my eye and set it with a powder, it will look really cakey, and I don't want that. So first impression, it definitely gave a very full coverage. As you can see before, my skin looks very bad, but now it looks flawless. Now mind you, it doesn't get rid of the bumps because it only covers the scars and stuff. For coverage, it's amazing. But I mean, the smell is not that bad. It definitely smells like one of those moisturizer, or it could be SPF that a lot of people use, but it's not terrible. The time is 12:01. So I'm actually gonna head out and do a little bit of errands, and then maybe buy some electronic stuff that I need to get, and I will jump right back as soon as I finish applying the rest of my makeup. This is what my makeup is currently looking. I do apologize for textures and all that on my skin because I have been breaking out like crazy. I think it's because of the weather and the fact that it's very dry and there's not much moisture. Mind you, I drink a lot of water, but I don't know. But everything went on very smoothly, and as I was setting the foundation, it wasn't actually separating, because you know there's a lot of foundations out there that once you try to set it, it kind of cakes up your makeup, especially full coverage foundations, but this one doesn't, which I really like. I like the fact that the coverage is there, but you know what, as soon as you set this foundation, it kind of feels like skin. It doesn't feel like it's sitting on top of my skin as opposed to when I was applying it. I feel like the best way to apply this is to use a brush, because using a sponge will not only soak up the product, but it will actually kind of shear out the coverage. So a brush is the way to go. Coverage is looking good, except for this one because it's very stubborn. That's like a scab, but whatever, it kind of looks like a mole from afar, so I'm not mad at it. So at the moment, the time is 12:17, so I will go about my day and I will check back with you guys in a little bit to show show you how the foundation is holding up. Hi guys, I'm back and it is now 4:40 p.m. and this is what my face is looking like at the moment. I am definitely quite greasy around this area right here and on my forehead and chin, which are the areas that I am normally oily throughout the day. Coverage wise, everything is still intact. My blush and bronzer and highlight is still on, and I'm going to go a little bit closer. So this is what my skin looks like. You could definitely tell the oil seeping through. I will check back again at the end of the night before I take it all off, and I will share with you guys my final thoughts. The time right now is 8:04 and I've been wearing this foundation for about 8 hours straight without touch-ups, and I'm looking like a mess, a total mess to be honest. So I could say that this foundation did not last on my oily skin, and it looks very oily. Though I have to admit, there's not much separation happening, though I could tell that this nose area right here has got bunched up, kind of like dried foundation, and around my mouth area. But other than that, it's looking pretty good. So I'm just gonna grab a sponge and blot the areas. This part right here kind of faded, I guess because I leaned on this side of my face. It definitely feels like I have foundation on, and I could see that the foundation is actually just sitting on my skin. So I'm going to grab a powder, and this one is the Physicians Formula Youth Booster powder, and this is translucent. So I'm just going to blot. So I just blotted my face, and I could definitely tell that it's really cakey, and I'm so ready to take this foundation off. So if you could see on my skin, this foundation did not claim to be long wearing or anything like that, but one thing I can agree on is that it definitely lasted. I mean, it definitely covered all my imperfections and created that flawless canvas. And for the price that I pay, I'm quite happy about this foundation, though I could not see myself wearing this all the time. My final thoughts would be, this foundation is great for maybe spot concealing, or if you really have bad acne marks, it's good to put it on top. But all over the face, I wouldn't really recommend it, and it doesn't really last that long if you have really oily skin. Also, if you're not into that kind of heavy feeling of foundation, you wouldn't love this. So yeah, that concludes my review for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please make sure to subscribe to my channel for more updates, and I'll catch you on my next video. Bye!